Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Storm coming at you, Team Shadow Strike, and I'm currently in our suite at the Candlewood Suites down here in Pasadena, Texas. We have had a long fucking day. We had an absolute blast. Me and fellow Shadow Strike members Christian and Sam placed third overall, which is absolutely amazing considering last year we made top 8 and came up just short. This is the perfect revenge story for us. We've done nothing but talk about when we would come back to the next team league and get our revenge. I can't put into words, you know, the support we got from you guys. I had 7-8 people come up to me today and wish us luck, who's seen me on the channel, seen Christian's videos or others' videos, and it means so much to have you guys support us, because I don't claim to be, you know, I've never started this as a way to get noticed on YouTube. It was just something for me to share my knowledge, and to have the support that we got is absolutely amazing. I also got to say real quickly, shout out to the the head judge, and all his volunteers, his staff. What? Ched? Yes. Ched. He was absolute. Guys, a lot of people know. A lot of people saw what I said about the ARG event, and some people have questioned, you know, if I should have done that or not. But one thing I've always been with you guys is a straight shooter, and this tournament, guys, it literally, now the location when we were driving to it literally looked like it was at a rodeo barn, but inside this hot, humid building, we had more fun than we've ever had at any kind of Sanctuary of Bushy Road event. The judges were absolutely amazing. They maintained authority. They were easy to talk to. Nothing against Ched or any of his judges. That I have absolutely zero complaints.
May I add that this tournament held 130 teams.
So I mean. Jed with a J, I'm guessing. But it absolutely, guys, had an absolutely amazing time. I have, where's my phone? Is my phone over there? Hand me my phone. It has my matchups on it. So I'm going to go over my matchups with you guys. I'm going to go over my matchups with you guys real quick. First off, the opening ceremony went real smooth, and we went straight into the rounds. It started about 10:30, 10:45, somewhere in there. Round 1, believe it or not, I was really shocked. My first match was against Angel Feather. I have not faced an Angel Feather deck in even a local tournament in easy 4, 5, 6 months. It was so nice to see someone who's still dedicated to a clan that is so jaded as Angel Feather. I love people who stick by their clans. I mean, now I stick by my clan, but it's fair to say Kagero is one of the more upper echelon clans. But it's nice to see people who love and support a clan and never back away from it. I don't remember the guys' names. I really should have wrote down the guys' names that I played, but I unfortunately didn't. I was just flabbergasted. But he was an absolute. He was very friendly. He was fun to play. No complaints. It was he unfortunately never got to his Celestial Legion. You know, that was his main problem in the match. But overall, he was an amazing player. He knew how to pilot the clan. So shout out if he somehow watches this. I really enjoyed my match with you. Round 2 was pretty interesting. We played against one kid and then another kid and a kid's dad. And I ended up playing the dad. And he was playing an Ezel Rush deck. And by that, I mean he rode his grade 2, which was Vivian, the grade 2 where she hits, you counterblast 1 and Superior the top color of the deck. He had at least 3 grade 3s in his hand at one point, and I knew he did because he kept pitching them to use his perfect guards. He literally just tried to rush me, and he never got an opening. Because when I finally did get on grade 3, I could just drop 10k and no pass him, and he could never strike my Vanguard. But he did. Shout out to him for, you know, taking interest in something his son loves. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. But he played very well. He just, unfortunately, a 10k Vanguard against a Legion is always just never going to last. But really great match. Round 3. Now, this is where the revenge factor comes in. Great. Oh, and I won against the Ezel Rush deck. Round 3, Great Nature. Now, this was this was this was our revenge. And last year at Team League, we lost to this very same team. This was the team that knocked us out of top 8, sent us home mad, because we had a better team, and at the time I thought we did, and but they were the better team that year. I'll admit it. But we got another chance at them. Granted, one of them was not the same, but for Christian, but I got to face the Great Nature player that I lost to. And Sam got to face the Aquaforce player again, and
the same order.
And it was weird how it all fell into place. And I had such a great match with him. We literally got down to our decks to be about that thick. He went through all 4 of his Magmars. The match literally just dragged until he ran out of resources, and the Overlord just burned him. But absolutely amazing match. Standout team, 5 stars. I hope we cross paths again someday, because I'd really love a third match.
Hey, quick question.
Round 4. Round 4 was another Great Nature player. And round 4 was another Great Nature player. And this one was actually my first loss of the day. And round 4, he played a little bit different style. But unfortunately for me, I just did not see a lot of shield that game. And he just kind of overran me, and I couldn't do much. But no complaints there. He played an excellent game. Really nice kid. So shout out to him. Round 5 was Gear Chronicle. This match, everything fell into place for me. He sprung both his Ragna clocks when I was at 1 and 2 damage. Was able to nullify 1, take 1 of them. He never was able to hit me with any other G unit except that 1 Ragna clock, and he never got Chrono Jet into his hand. I think he damage checked 2 of them, and he discarded 1 to Stride, so he was on Fate Wheel the entire game, and he never really got anything going. But he did the best with what he had. So he did the best with not having your standard setup, which is striding on top of Chrono Jet and continuing the rewinding process. Round 6, I played Narukami, and this was a Vanquisher, not Sweep Command, Vanquisher, Eradicator Break Ride, Ignition Dragon. And I felt so bad for this kid, because he showed me his build afterwards. He had to G-assist to grade 1, and then he had to G-assist again to grade 3. So he just never was able to even come close to hanging in the game, but he never gave up, and I can always respect that. But great match, great guy, and his build was great. And I will say this for Vanquisher, for you Vanquisher fans out there, that card is severely underrated. It is an amazing card for those who know how to use it properly. But anyhow, and then for the final match because we played 7 rounds of Swiss, I played a Nova Grappler player, and he was playing a mix between the Cat Raisers and Extreme Battlers. I don't want to insult anyone's playstyle, but his strategy just did not make sense to me. He made so many, I don't want to call it mistakes, because to him it might make sense, and I don't want to come across rude, but he didn't make choices that I think would benefit him the most. I'm not going to go into those specifically, because I don't want to make it seem like they're making fun of him, but he did get some good combos, and he never hit me with razors. He never got that double crit through. He never hit me with his G units. I think I literally used my perfect guard 7 times total, because I legioned like 4 or 5 times in the game, and he just could not get my loot to stop. But absolutely, fun. He did, however, make a very bad mistake in forgetting about the End's ability when he's in Legion with the cross. Maybe it was just an honest mistake. We all make those, but still a good match. Ended up that was pretty good. Now after that, we placed 5th, going into top 8. And top 8, I played Royal Paladins. I really should have won this match. I guarded for a 2 pass, and I would have had him on the next move because I had his hand right where I wanted it. Because all he would have had in his hand would be the Royal Paladin G Perfect, a grade 3, and a draw trigger, and I knew I had him. But unfortunately, he double triggered and he got through, and that's just how it happens. Not that I could have double passed it. I could have double passed it, but I would have had to take his last rear guard, which was at that point juiced up to 26. But he made the right call, and he really great player. More on that match when Christian posts his deck profile, because that's his place to tell, not mine. Top 4 was Aquaforce, and this was a kind of it was your generic. And don't take generic as an insult. This kid played very well. It was a Maelstrom. It was a Maelstrom deck with the Aquaforce Lambros Stride deck. That's pretty much all it was, but it worked well. He mixed the limit erasers. He used the original Maelstrom. That was nice to see. Unfortunately for me, I just drew absolutely terrible, and I was not able to deal with the early rush. And I lasted, I think, a very long time, but I eventually just ran out of options. And then finally, since we did not win in top 4 to go to the finals to win the free trip to Los Angeles, we went on to play the 3rd place fight, and I played against Bluish Flames. This kid played Bluish Flames probably better than anybody I've ever seen. He had a grade 3, and he did not ride it until, I think, about 2 turns too late, in my opinion. But, you know, I mean, we had this discussion, and he said, well, it made sense to me at the time, and I understand that. You know, sometimes when you're in the middle of a game, the only person's logic that can make sense to somebody is the player, and he did an absolutely amazing job of continuing the rush. So, I was able to win, you know, with topping the Great, going into Legion, taking out his rear guard, and finishing the game. But absolutely amazing, you know, absolutely amazing day. We got to meet so many amazing people. So I'm going to quit yapping, and I'm going to just get into this deck profile. I'm going to explain all my choices, what put in the most work. So anyway, guys, here is our basically our certificate to go to Los Angeles. So fun. And then, like I always do with you guys, I'm going to start with grade 0s, and I'm going to work my way up. So for the starting Vanguard, I played Red Pulse. This is pretty much, you know, standard in cross builds. Because we do play our grade 3s are part of our main engine, so we need to get a hold of those so we can use this Red Pulse to get us out of a grade stuck hole, which there was 2 or 3 times I had to use Red Pulse to dig for a grade 3 because I just didn't have it, and it was there for me every time. Also, I want to point out, you might see a little black circle there. That is a signature from the President of the United States Bushiroad Division, and he was an absolutely amazing man, very generous, kind, generous. It was an honor to meet our president. He signed a couple more cards in this deck for me, and it was absolutely just awesome to meet him. Very polite. I can't say enough about him. But Red Pulse put in so much work. For the triggers, this really doesn't get... this is pretty kind of standard. I played 7 crit. You can play 8 if you want, because a lot of the builds that I know that were famous in Japan played 8, but I like 7 because I just like a little more draw power. I started with 8, yes. I started with 8 and decided to go to 4 just for the extra draw power, and it worked out. Now, for my draws, I played 3 Seal Dragon Arts Peak and 2 Gatling Claws. Now, this is a little weird because a lot of people were playing 4 Gatling Claws and only 1 Arts Peak. Well, the way that I play this deck is I usually have retiring power, because the only reason I found myself using this was in the Revenger match. Because, you know, for the Judge Bow thing, or Deep Lease, but you know, I did not see Deep Lease all day, which really kind of shocked me. But anyway, I figured if I did, I never used Gatling Claw's effect. I did use Arts Peak's effect a time or two, but Gatling Claw I never got off his skill, because I always had a Burnout or a Neo Flame, or my mom would hit. So I mean, you can play the 4 Gatlings if you like, but it's a mix of, it's player preference, and it's based on how you play the deck, so, but it works for me. And then for my heal triggers, I play 1, guys, shush, I play 1 Barbara, 1 Teresa, 1 Agathea, and 1 Mother Orb Dragon. So one of each of my favorite heal triggers for this clan. It was a pain in the butt to have to write them all down, but I need my 3 girls and I need my mother orb dragon. So gotta have them. Grade 1s. We play 4 Protect Orb dragons. Now this is the huge debate. Whether you should play Bari or any of the other Kagero Perfects or Protect Orb. Honestly, I don't care if I'm in the cross mirror match and they attack my rear guard. I don't care. Go ahead, get your 2 extra cards, because if you do that, there's no way in hell I'm going to let you hit my Vanguard, and I'm going to make you drop those cards next turn. I know how to counter that, and good cross players will tell you that this is the better option. I can understand why people use Bari, because either A, they're scared to death of the cross mirror match, or they're scared of Laurel and D-Police. And either way, I don't care, because I know how to counteract both of those strategies, and a good cross player should know how to counteract both of those. But it doesn't, and plus it gives you a damage flipping outlet, which you counterblast a fair amount in this deck, so I don't understand why this is such a hard decision, but hey, everyone has their personal preferences. So. Next, Dragon Monk Gojo. This has been the staple card in almost all my Kagero decks. I cannot... This is like the pre-grade 1 ride for almost any Kagero deck out there, because there was a couple times where I didn't have my grade 2 or 3, and I would just rest it, and whoop, there it is. Gojo is always there for me. He always gives me that card I want, and plus, if I'm that 1 card short for Legion, which did happen once, I can just then immediately go straight to Legion. So Gojo is just Gojo. So next we play 3 Calamity Towers. Now this is the big thing. A lot of people were telling me, why aren't you playing 4? Now the reason I don't play 4 is because I do not want to ride this unless I absolutely have to. And if I have this and say Protect Orb in my hand, I'll ride Protect Orb, because I do not want that 5k body, because now with Great Nature and Aqua Force and all the rush decks out there, it really just does not set well for you. Now I did have to ride this once, and all my opponent did was ride an attack, and I had a big sigh of relief. But I realize you do need this to continue the loop for this deck. But I saw it when I needed it, and I don't want to see it just to have it, and I don't have the Soul Blast to do it. But, he was there when I needed him, and that's why I only play 3, and that was the right choice. And, I've been chastised for not playing 4, and, by even a head judge, not a head judge, but by a judge today. And, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but, obviously, because of this top, I've proved that 3 is all you really need. And then for the last grade 1 is I play 2 Energy Flame Athonics. Now this, a lot of times people are playing Lava Flow, which is the Kagero Stride assist, where you discard it and you can stride. I like this because it gives me more unflipping power, so more counterblasts, more crosses, more Neoflames, more ends. I just want to make sure I have an unflipping power, because I can't guarantee every time I use Protect Orb that I'm going to get to unflip. So what this does is it allows me to unflip. So, grade 2s. Of course, we're playing 4 Burning Horn Dragon, pretty much the original 12k attacker. Can't say enough about Burning Horn. He makes columns. He's old school. Probably the most expensive 12k attacker there ever has been. At one point, as high as $25 a piece. But absolutely, absolutely positively, a staple must be played of this card at 4. Then we got 4 Dragonic Burnout. Out of all my grade 2s, this by far put in the most fucking work today. It just was always there for me when I needed to just get a spot off retire, or to chain it with a Neo Flame, or to get an Overlord back in the deck so then I could Legion, and not have to waste it on returning Overlords. He just put in so much work. One thing I want to point out for the final time, and I'm never going to say this again, so you better listen. If you call this to a rearguard circle, you must return an Overlord to the bottom of your deck first, not before you Soul Blast. It's return an Overlord to the bottom of the deck, then Soul Blast. I've now verified that through 3 head judges, which is bogus because I know I'm right. But so if you know people who are still misplaying that, you can tell them that you know for a fact that you're right. But I don't understand why that's so hard to understand. But everyone has their flub ups.
The main reason why a lot of people feel it doesn't is because of the fact that Soul Blast is first.
Yeah, I get that, I guess, but it just I never had that problem. Maybe just I guess it depends on how you read the card. And then finally, 3 Dragonic Neoflame. I would love to play 4, you just simply don't have the room. But Neoflame, even at 3, puts in a lot of work. Being able to chain him with the cross or burn out and just burn away another unit, or even the grade 3 G unit Mahmud. You can just cause so much havoc with Neoflame because it makes your opponent have to worry about something else. So it's and plus he legions with the great, so you need to play at least 2 of him, but I would recommend 3. A big debate is some people try to figure out, well, can I play 3 Burnout and 4 Neoflame? That is doable, but I prefer 4 Burnout and 3 Neoflame. But if you prefer the 4 Neoflame and 3 Burnout, then I encourage you to do that. Then for the grade 3s, this is probably no one's. This is 4 copies of Dragonic of the X, or the Cross. Got one of these signed by the president of Bushy Road. I'm assuming you guys know what this does, so I'm not going to explain the effect. But he's absolutely amazing when played the right way. So. And the fact that I can counterblast 1 and essentially 2 if you combo it with Neoflame and blow up 3 units, it's absolutely a game changer. It can literally seal you a game if you just get it off. And there were 2 times I got his effect off today and wasn't in Legion. People forget that the Cross can use his effect when he's not in Legion. That ended up winning me at least 1 game. Just because, a lot of people forget that, but absolutely amazing. 3 copies of the end. This is all you need, guys. Some people like to play the 4-4 build, but I don't understand that because you're not going to get this off more than maybe once a game. And plus, it is searchable, and you thin this deck so freaking quick. Got 1 ensign too, but if you like playing 4, play 4, but 3 is really all you need. And then finally, we played 2 copies of the Great. Also got 1 Great signed. This card was the card that sealed the invite for us because I was on the Great, and I only had 1 card left in the Soul. I drew my 2nd copy of the Great, wrote it, activated the Calamity Tower, Soul Blasted 2, drew into a Burning Horn, had a full field Legioned, and just started wreaking havoc on the Bluish Flame player's field, and then swung at him and hit double crit, and that was it. So I still love this card so much. I don't know why some cross players will not play this. It is so amazing. The Great. And finally, guys, for the G deck, we play 4 copies of Flame Emperor, King Dragon, Root Flare Dragon. We get it, you're a dragon. Did put in a lot of work, especially against the Gear Chronicle matchup. It put in work against the Great. It put in work against the Great Nature match with in round 3 against our rival from last year. The ability to basically blow a column up for nothing except a Persona flip is absolutely amazing. Root Flare puts in a lot of work for me. So 3 Mahmud, and Mahmud is your generic first stride. You're going to go straight to him and just swing at your opponent for 26, 30, 31, whatever you have. And if they do let him hit, you're going to pop something. Mahmud. And then the 1 Blizza. Blizza did win me 1 game in round 1. I literally rode this after I had strode from Mahmud and then into a Root Flare, and he swung for 26 plus 15 and then had like a 7k boost, and my opponent, the Angel Feather player, just didn't have enough to even attempt, so he got through. Blizza's just, he's a better version of Atmos in my opinion, but absolutely amazing card.
Can I have a question? I have a serious question. Can I say?
Are you gonna know my fucking questions?
I don't remember the
what question?
How did you feel beating the team that knocked? How did you elaborate on your feelings on how you felt beating the team that knocked you out of top 8 last year?
In case you didn't hear that, he asked. how did I feel about defeating the team that knocked us out last year? I have no problem with the people who beat us last year. They're amazing people. They're friendly. They're kind. Shout out to them. Absolutely amazing guys. Can't say enough good things about them. But when you're in a competition, friendship doesn't really mean a whole lot. You play to win. And it means a lot to get revenge, it
was friendly revenge.
Yeah, it was friendly revenge, but it's nice to get back at them, and I'm pretty sure if the situation were reversed, they'd say the same thing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing group of guys. They were easily that great nature match. That great nature matchup was my favorite match of the day. But anyway, guys, can't say enough about my cross deck. I had so much fun piloting this deck. I had waited for months for this deck to come out, and the fact that it won us that long-awaited trip to the Nationals for Team League, or it's just the epitome, the icing on the cake, so to speak. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. I want to give a shout out to Team End Anger for Frank and his guys. They were big supporters of ours. I want to give shout outs to everyone at our locals Alien Games, especially Tom and Karen Anderson, our owners, who are like our dad and mother. Shout out to them. Our friends Zane, Glendon, Cody, anybody who has ever Forrest, anybody who has ever supported us. We take that and we're grateful for it. So thank you very much, guys, for all your support on YouTube, all our friends and all our locals. So thank you very much, guys. So make sure you thumbs up this video. Leave any questions that you have about Team League, the deck. I don't care. Just leave anything you want below and I'll answer it. So thank you very much, guys, and I will see you next time.